1,550 videos. Most of them are a bit more clear than this, but I'm actually getting pretty good sound here. But I want to show this rare J6S, which is for solid top. You don't see too many of these around. They're getting I used to get them all the time, and now if I get one a year, I'm lucky. But this has J6S inside on the label. It's not one where somebody thinks it's a J6S, and it's got it on the label, on the truss rod cover, and you can hear it in the sound. Just listen to that. That's in a old solid state PV amp. I paid $1.50 for it. This guitar sounds really good. Yeah, it really sounds sweet. It's got, and I did a demo with it yesterday. I actually just got it a couple days ago, and I was moving it around, and it was making sound. Obviously, I think I fixed the input jack situation. It seems to be working fine now. I knew it was no big deal. There is a chip on the side of the headstock. I'm not sure if you can see that, but this guitar just sounds amazing. I mean, it really does. It sounds, to me, to my ear, and I used to do nothing but high-end arch tops for 10 years. It really has an L5 CES type sound. It just sounds beautiful. But I want to talk a little bit about the Guitar Ladder program. Folks, the Guitar Ladder really is my gift to the guitar community. It's not about making sales. I need to make sales, but I'm really probably putting more into it than I'm getting out of it. But I sell 2, 3, 4 systems every day now. So when people email me for samples and I send them samples and they ask them questions and I answer the questions, it's not like I'm trying to do a big sell. I'm trying to help you take a quantum leap. I'm trying to help you guys grow and evolve, because there's nothing on the planet even close to the Guitar Ladder system. It really thinks outside the box. It's like I said in my video yesterday, it's not like buying a piece of furniture from IKEA and step 1 through 50. Learning art is on a whole different level. And what I teach is musical sentences, almost like color stretching. Like when I'm 62. I studied with Joe Pass when I was about 22, and he used to always say when he thought of a chord, he automatically could think of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other places to go, and then each form of that chord had the same situation. You automatically know how to go other places in a very musical way, not in a way that just sounds like you're just jumping from a chord to a chord, but very smooth voice leading, contrary motion, nice intervallic movement, symmetry, diatonic. I blend the 10 systems of improvisation into the 250 chordal studies and single note studies that I have. So I've got something really special here, folks. I've worked really, really hard on this. And I don't like to brag, but sometimes I feel like I need to, because I feel like I need to kind of substantiate and add credibility to my position. You can check out my CD. My original CDs reviewed at vintageguitar.com. I'm in pretty good company there. Most of the people there are like, Eric Clapton, Steely Dan, Stevie Ray Vaughan. It's major people. But Stephen Stone has bought 3 or 4 guitars from me, and he thought a lot of my CD and respected my ability as a composer and player. I've also got a couple products marketed by Dunlap. If you want to hear some of my music, go to stevezook1. I think it's stevezook1, the number 1.bandcamp.com. Folks, I know what I'm doing here, okay? And the power of the Guitar Ladder system is in the simplicity of the approach. If you're learning guitar and somebody's giving you all this theory and step 1, step 2, step 3, and they're saying it has to go in this order, that's not, I found through over 30 years of teaching, that's not effective. What is effective is learning to experience chordal movement, like when I studied 4 times with Horace Hatch. Horace Hatch used to teach, and Joe Pass taught a similar way, like Cycle 1, where you learn how to put chords together in a way that's musical. And what happens is your subconscious mind absorbs that and begins to learn about the interior and exterior movement of chords. Now, to make that even more simple to understand, like I said, it's like learning the language of music. Even Pat Metheny talks about this. Like when you're speaking to somebody, you automatically know how to put words together to communicate what you're trying to say. Whether it's, hey, let's just go out for a burger and fries. I mean, you know how to put that together. Well, with music, it's the same thing, but with all the different chords and the more modern sounding chords, you need to learn how to put those together in a musical way. And that's what I do with my 250 studies. And I spoon feed you a little bit of a time, but the price has gone up to $299, but I still am doing some at $199 because somebody came in with a grant, which is really cool, to where he's chipping in an extra $100 for people, so you can still get it at $199. But I guess the point I'm trying to make here is, you can lead a horse to water, But the guitar ladder system is not bullshit. I've got people with master's degrees buying it. This really works, folks. It's kind of my gift. My suggestion is, don't overthink it. If you really want to make a quantum leap, if you want to learn, because you can't. One of my customers that bought it mentioned, well, and he's really good at the English language. I know I look like I'm doing. He mentioned inside the square, right? You got to be outside the square, outside the box when you're learning art, and that's what's so powerful about the guitar ladder system. Is I've come up. This is really, I've kind of revolutionized the art of learning guitar, but I've borrowed from the old school of people like Joe Pass and Horace Hatch and Wes Montgomery that sat around for hours a day. Believe me, these guys sat around for hours a day and just found ways to put chords together that's musical, because that's how you get that vocabulary and begin to hear your own musical ideas. Is you have to start putting things together, and I just keep coming at you with new ways to put chords, whether it's cycle 1, which is like this, and then cycle 2 goes into the variations, learning about shading with the major 13 flat 5, hear that? And then I teach when you find something that works, then you kind of exhaust it, maybe add. Now I have a thing I'm thinking about lately, kind of called color stretching. It'd be like if you were going to learn, if you were an artist and you drew, paintings and whatnot, you'd probably have many different shades of even like, say, gray or silver or whatever. And I kind of see that a similar quality here. But the way chords go together is like putting color together, and it is. A chord has a color. This major 13 flat 5 has a totally different color than a major 7, right? Which has a totally different color than a minor 7, right? Which has a different color than a 7 sharp 5. Different color again, 7 sharp 5 sharp 9, right? Different color, 13 flat 9, different color, right? 13 flat 5 flat 9, right? And every form of a chord has a different color. This form of major 7 has a different color than, say, this form, right? And you learn to put chords together in perfect force. There's just you learn how to use common tones to put chords together. This is powerful, folks. I mean, that's why when I email samples and then you're asking me a couple questions, I'm happy to answer the questions, but don't feel like I'm going to try to hard sell you, or I don't have a lot of time to chase you. This is an opportunity to really make some huge growth. The guitar ladder system is what you're looking for in a very innovative, organic, and simple to use guitar method that's going to produce quantum leaps, wake up the artist within, wake up your ability to hear your own musical ideas and find them on the guitar. This is not bullshit, folks. This is the real deal. I had a guy the other day that bought a course from me, and I know it's always hard to say this because it sounds like I'm bragging, but again, I give all the credit to God and the universe, but I've worked my ass off, folks. Nobody has worked harder on a guitar instruction system than mine, and no system is going to produce the results that my system will produce. And I know that sounds a little overconfident, but it's just true. I need to make my case here. I hate to think about people missing out. And most people that buy the guitar ladder system oftentimes will say, yeah, I got a couple samples, and then they thought about it for a long time. When they finally got back and started the program, they're like, holy shit, why didn't I do this sooner? Because they're getting so much results. Some people will watch me on my YouTube channel for an hour, watch a bunch of videos, and realize, yeah, this guy's the real deal. They'll go look at my CD review at vintageguitar.com. It says I'm a prodigious composer and player. That's by Mr. Stephen Stone, who's a top engineer, a great musician himself. He's a guitar collector. He's one of the greatest writers. He writes for Stereophile, Spin Magazine, Audiophile, Vintage Guitar. He's a really smart guy. He called me a prodigious composer and player. All I'm trying to say, folks, is I'm trying to build my credibility here. I know what I'm doing. I've got 2 products marketed by Dunlap Guitar Accessory Company, the Speed Pick and the Zookies. I've done a lot of stuff mainly because I love guitar and I love music. And I just tend to really get into things that I do. And when I was been teaching for over 30 years, I got to a point where I wanted my students to get more out of the money they were paying me for lessons. And I've had people drive over 200 miles to pay me $100 an hour for lessons. I've since dropped my price tremendously to help people that do want to study with me a little bit. But you can get so much growth out of the guitar ladder system, folks. But the point that I'm just trying to make is, like, when you learn how to resolve chords, and you don't have, I think people are a little brainwashed people are brainwashed by all the kind of left brain approach. Like I said, I've had people buy my course who had master's degrees in music, but they're like, yeah, I can't improvise, I can't compose. And they actually tell me, I like it when they tell me, because then I realize we're a good match. They say, Steve, I realize that traditional approach to learning music, it's not like learning science or learning to be an engineer or learning how to be, a plumber, or learning to be a biologist or a chemist or something where there's a ton of formulas and that with music that just gets in the way. And the beautiful thing about the guitar ladder system is all the formulas are inside the cycles, and your subconscious mind just soaks it up like a sponge. Because when you start to improvise and compose your own music, your brain's not saying, oh, secondary dominant to, flat 5 sub to symmetry to intervallic. Hell no. Your brain is hearing the idea. And because you spent time improvising around your instrument, you're able to find it, because you've made your subconscious mind familiar with the fact that, oh, this sounds like this, this sounds like this sounds like this sounds like this. In other words, the 250 studies in my guitar ladder system are going to familiarize yourself and your subconscious mind with all the different colors, sounds, moods, tension, and resolution on the guitar. And then when you start to hear your own musical ideas, then you are able to find how to express that, because you're familiar with the territory. You're familiar. This is very difficult to explain. But I think people are starting to understand it now, because I'm selling 2, 3, 4 courses every day. You're getting familiar with the territory. It'd be like if I asked you to build a house. Let's say you were great at building houses. You'd obviously have to know about wood and nails and the different components. And if you had studied different types of architecture and different designs, whether it be an Asian design or an A-frame cabin in the mountains, you'd be familiar with that. It's the same thing. You need to understand the tools of what you're doing. You need to get your musical tool chest together. And I'm telling you, folks, the guitar ladder system is like getting thousands of dollars of instruction for $199. The price just went up to $299, but I mentioned this on the other video. I have a really cool guy who his family has done really well in life from investing in huge companies and startup, and they've made a ton. He just donated some money. He bought my guitar ladder system and didn't even tell me who he was. And then later he's like, man, Steve, you've really got something special here. And he's donated money to chip in, so he'll donate the other 100 so you can pay the $199. What a cool guy. And I'm getting to know this guy. We're talking about maybe setting up some funds for artists, for recording and whatnot. I mean, he likes me a lot. He understands I'm coming from this from the right point of view, because I'm passionate about it. But I'm just telling you, folks, the guitar ladder system is not something to overthink. If I send you the samples and you realize how musical they are, my suggestion is order the system. I can answer a couple emails, but I can't chase you down. I don't want to feel like I'm having to, force somebody to take advantage of something, which is an absolute steal for the money. It really is. It's just a tremendous value. So, yeah. But anyway, yes, and yeah, this guitar I cleaned the. Sometimes you can just spray a guitar cable with like WD-40 and then put it in and out the input jack like 30, 40 times in it. That's what I did here, and it worked. So you can see the guitar. Yesterday I did a video. I was moving the guitar around. It was buzzing like a mother freaker. But yeah, just to get back here. So cycle 1, and if you want to sample the guitar ladder system, I'd really like to get a phone number. Seems like some people are afraid to give me a phone number. I'm not going to high pressure you or argue with you. I'd just like to share some stories about the guitar ladder system. See, that's cycle 1, and then it comes down. But see, you're automatically, I could get into some big, long, boring rap about this, but it just slows you down. Your mind can tell, smooth voice leading, I got common tones here. Hear those 2 notes, right? See, small interval skips, voice leading, right? And then when you go back through on cycle 2, you get the shading, see? And then anytime you find something that works, you use it, And you get to the point with the guitar, and this is what happened with me when I say with Horace Hatch. And Horace Hatch taught Howard Roberts when Howard Roberts was a young man in Arizona. Howard Roberts went on to become one of the best guitarists ever. He formed Musicians Institute, MI Institute in Hollywood, California, which they do national commercials, one of the biggest and largest, most prestigious music schools in the world. I took from Horace Hatch 4 times. He even said to me once when I was a young man, I think you're going to end up at the point like where Ruben Quintero ended up, who a friend of mine, Jim Quintero, is a great bass player and guitar player. His dad, Ruben Quintero, was one of the best guitar players ever in the whole world, just amazing. And I was lucky to study with him when I was 8 years old. But Horace Hatch told me I was going to end up like end up like Ruben Quintero, where I could play any chord and just take off musically and sound beautiful. And that's what happened. I mean, and the most cool thing about this, and my wife has done the same thing, is it gives you the fertile soil for composing. I mean, if you just want to be like everybody else and just dabble on guitar and spend a ton of money on equipment, serious gas, it's just bullshit. You know, if you're going to get into something, and I know I'm getting a little intense here, but I'm really serious about music because I believe it's a gift from the universe. If you're really, if you want to dig deep within your soul and discover the music floating around your head, if you want to let the universe play through you, if you want to let the gift of music from the universe, from God, come through you and discover what beautiful music is floating around your head, you can do that, folks, and it's the best natural high on the planet. It will make you happy, but there's a price to pay. You're not just going to fall into that, okay? I mean, I used to practice 12, 13 hours a day. Now, luckily, you don't need to do that. I had a certain goal to become a virtuoso, but you can discover and become a player a much deeper level than you'd ever imagine if you work on the right material. Now, if there's other stuff out there that did the trick, I would tell you. I haven't seen it. Because it takes so much work to come up with this stuff. It's a lot of hard work. All my studies, see, they all use these components of like contrary motion, common tone, diatonic, whatever, but they're all combined. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here, I know I'm getting a little intense, but I'm really passionate about this. If you want to just be kind of an average, even if you've been playing guitar for 30 years. I have a lot of people that buy my guitar course that are advanced players, intermediate players. People have been playing for 30, 35 years, and a lot of them are very, very good. But maybe I should put it this way. If you want to take a quantum leap, no matter how long you've been playing, no matter if you're an advanced player or an intermediate player, if you want to not only take a quantum leap, but if you want to discover the artist within, if you want to discover your own musical thoughts, if you want to discover your own musical identity, if you want to learn how to compose music, learn how to improvise up and down the fretboard with beautiful chords and single notes, learn how to write your own music, in other words, if you want to take and get the most possible in this lifetime out of guitar and your understanding of music, order the guitar ladder system. It will do the trick. It's going to wait, because I've spent years and years and years working on this, and the power is in the simplicity. That's the power of it. If I were to get into a big paralysis through analysis and get all heavy and explain a bunch of left brain bullshit, which the left brain is too slow, you know, it doesn't work. I've come up with a very unique system that it's all under the presentation. The way I present the material to you and the way that you present it to your subconscious mind just, it clicks, man. It really does. It understands the way things are moving together and the way things, you know, work together, because we're not overcomplicating it. You're playing it. You know, you can hear, oh yeah, you can hear minor 7. Here it connects inversion, connects this, you know, you're hearing the way these patterns go together, and every chord study has different ways of connecting chords and doing very beautiful musical sentences. And then your brain starts to kind of mix that up a little bit, and it's just incredible. People start writing their own music, and it really will wake up the artist within. So, but anyway, this guitar is available. Boy, it sounds amazing. I'm going to miss this one. You can hear that tone. It's got like a high-end kind of and I'm using just an old solid-state amp here, and I barely have any volume at all. But hear that tone? Maybe I should lower well, actually, I like the tone. What a beautiful tone. I don't think I've had one of these J6S's for probably a year at least. They're really hard to find. So anyway, let me wrap this up. What I'm just trying to say, and I know I'm getting a little intense here, but I'm really passionate about the guitar ladder system because I've seen the results, and I think I've said before, it's my students who motivated me to put in the thousands of hours to get this together. It works. That's the bottom line. It works. Most people just have not spent the time And if you just do a little of this, like the key to, I'm going to go back to Joe Pass again. I took from him when I was 22. I'm 62 now. Joe Pass used to say that simplify your thinking, which is what the guitar ladder system simplifies your thinking and lets your own like when you eat a banana, your subconscious mind releases 870 enzymes. Do you think if you had to consciously like know every enzyme that was being released in your body every time you ate a banana, you'd go crazy, right? So what we're trying to say, just like when you have a dream, your subconscious mind creates all those events, all those sequences, all those things. Our subconscious mind runs this miracle that we have called a body. Our subconscious mind is tremendously powerful. So it can easily assimilate the tools of music when it's presented this material in a simple way without a bunch of bullshit, without a bunch of formulas and stuff. You learn by doing, you learn by hearing, you learn by playing, and you absorb it. And it's just really exciting. I get letters and emails every day about people enjoying the growth. The most important thing though, if you order the guitar ladder system, is be in the moment. Don't look for results. Don't worry about results. Don't overprocess it. Don't overthink it. Put your ego on the back burner. Just do the work. Be patient. Don't watch the water boil, and the results will come. It's really a fun thing. And this guitar is available. Like I said, I get maybe one of these a year. Oops, I had the volume down, huh? Hear that tone? It's just beautiful. Sound it has that L5 sound, doesn't it? Really sounds beautiful. So this guitar comes with a really nice, really clean near mint alligator type case. It's stronger than hell. So somebody's going to be real happy with this. But anyway, for free guitar ladder system samples, send to polkzoo@gmail.com. Really like to have your phone number. I haven't had too many people sending me their phone number lately. I'm not sure why. I'm not going to sell it to anybody or throw it anywhere. It's just so that I can call you and better explain the guitar ladder system. And you can decide whether to buy it or not. There's no pressure there. The way I look at it, you're either interested, you're either not interested, or you need more information, or you want to buy it. I think most people are somewhere in the middle of all that. So my job is to get you to understand the guitar ladder system. I don't care if you buy it. Okay, that's not true. I do care if you buy it because I'd like to see you have some tremendous musical growth and be a testimonial for me down the road. But what I'm trying to say is if I get your number and I call you, I'm not calling to high pressure. I want to share some stories. I've got some unbelievable stories of people who had just like miracle growth with this thing. So, this is my life's work. I've got over 40 years into it. Like I said, I studied with Ted Green, Horace Hatch, Joe Pass. It's all my own original material. In fact, when I bought this guitar, I bought it from a real player. And I sat down and started playing, and I forget what I was doing, but I was doing some kind of stuff like this. And he just goes, "Oh, Joe Pass." In fact, when I took from Ted Green, I was already a pretty advanced player, and I sat down and did some things. And he's like, "Oh, you're doing Joe's stuff, So I guess Joe's influence, I have my own style, but I guess his influence is pretty strong in what I do. I think a lot of that is just the smooth voice leading and the way that I've learned how in any position of the guitar to have groups of chords I can put together that sound very musical and have beautiful smooth voice leading and like I said, contrary motion and common tones and chromatic. And it's learning how to use the 10 systems of improvisation in a way that's sweet. Because I've heard musicians, and I actually had a guy that called me the other day that bought the system that said he's heard people that had a lot of knowledge, but the way they used the knowledge didn't sound smooth or buttery and was kind of jagged. And I think that, and he made a really beautiful comment about my playing, that he said that you use the components of music, but in a way that's very smooth. I forget exactly how he put it, but he used that I use the components in a way that's musical and smooth and kind of buttery and not jagged. So it was kind of hard to remember exactly how he put it. I think he was like an English major or something, and he taught school. Very, very smart guy. He made some tremendous observations on what I do. It was an interesting conversation. But anyway, this is going much longer than I thought it was. This guitar is available. It really It sounds like a high-end guitar. It just sounds amazing. And I'm using a old PV solid state amp for this. Hear that sound? So for samples, send to polkzoo@gmail.com. $199. Seriously, folks, the guitar ladder system's like getting thousands of dollars of high quality guitar instruction for $199. The new price is $299, but I've got some I can still do at $199. Don't overthink it. Jump on board. Become a member of the Guitar Ladder System family. You're going to be really glad that you jumped on board. You're going to love how you feel. You're going to love how you start to compose. You're going to love the minute you start working the Guitar Ladder System, the minute you even start working on my samples, you're automatically going to start sensing the power of it. It's going to make sense to you. You're going to see how musical the studies are and how much they make sense. And you're just going to, my suggestion is don't fight it, jump in. All right, I probably said enough. I didn't mean to do such a long video. This is available. I'm really going to miss this guitar. It sounds unbelievable. Like I said, it's got a beautiful flame back. It does have a chip on the side of the headstock here. But I mean, man, I'm not kidding. This guitar sounds like a $5,000 Gibson L5 CES or better. It just sounds amazing. So really hard to find the J6S. A lot of people lie and say they have a J6S. It's just a J6. And some of the J6s sound pretty good. But, you know, the J6S, if you find a good one, and, you know, every guitar is a little bit different. And people always say to me, oh, you say all your guitars are great guitars. Well, one of the reasons is I've got, 40 years of experience in picking out guitars. Also, I buy guitars from a lot of great musicians, and they have really good ears. So these people have already listened and picked out a guitar because they have the experience and the ears to pick it out. So I deal with that a lot. I buy from a lot of great musicians who just decide to downsize or whatever. So, all right, folks, take care, and let's all keep the faith and trust the universe and trust in the wisdom that created you.